All right, let's jump right in. If you're building a RAG app, you've probably hit this wall. It's that frustrating choice, right? Do you go for a search that gets the meaning of what you're asking, or one that finds the exact keywords? It always feels like a trade-off. But what if it didn't have to be? And this lays out the problem perfectly. On one side, you've got semantic search. It's the smart one. It knows if you ask for money back, you're probably looking for the document about refunds. But ask it for a specific ID like API 2024-001, and it might just scratch its head. Then you've got keyword search. It's laser-focused. It'll find that exact ID every single time, no problem. But it's also literal to a fault. It has no idea that money back and refund are basically the same thing. So you get precision, but you lose that crucial understanding.
And that's exactly where hybrid search comes in to save the day. It's the beautiful solution that basically asks, why on earth would you choose? The whole idea here is to unite these two different worlds, to fuse the brains of semantic search with the precision of keyword search. Now, to build a great hybrid system, you can't just use any old keyword search. You need one that's, well, a lot smarter. And the gold standard for that is an algorithm called BM25. It stands for Best Match 25, and trust me, it's way more sophisticated than just counting how many times a word shows up. This is the powerhouse engine we need for our keyword side.
So how does this thing actually think? You can really break its logic down into 3 simple ideas. First up, term frequency. Basically, if a word like authentication pops up a lot in one document, chances are that's a good sign. Second, inverse document frequency. This is brilliant. It knows that a word like authentication is way more important than a word like the, just because it's rarer across all your documents. And finally, document length. BM25 has a slight preference for shorter documents, working on the assumption that they're more to the point. It's this 3-part recipe that makes it so darn effective.
Okay, so we have our 2 powerful searches running. Semantic search gives us a list of results based on meaning. BM25 gives us another list based on keywords. The big question now is, how do we intelligently blend them into one single superior list? This, my friends, is the art of fusion. And yeah, this is the central puzzle we've got to solve. We have 2 completely different ranked lists. A document might be number 1 on the semantic list, but way down at number 15 on the keyword list. Or maybe it's not even on the keyword list at all. So how do you resolve that? How do you create a final ranking that's actually better than what either one could do on its own?
Well, there are 2 really popular ways to do this. The first is called a weighted sum. This one looks at the actual scores each search system gives a document, does a little math to get them on the same scale, and then blends them. It's super tunable. But there's another approach, reciprocal rank fusion, or RRF, which is often just as good and way simpler. RRF totally ignores the scores. It only cares about one thing, a document's rank in each list. It's this super elegant, simple idea that just works.
Whichever fusion method you go with, you're going to run into this little parameter, usually called alpha. And this is your magic dial. It's what lets you control the blend. You get to decide how much voice semantic search gets versus how much voice keyword search gets in that final result. I absolutely love this analogy because it just makes it click. Your alpha parameter is literally the volume knob on your search. An alpha of 1 means you've cranked the semantic volume all the way up. An alpha of 0, all keyword all the time. And an alpha of 0.5 is that perfect 50-50 balance right in the middle. You're the DJ of your search results. And here's the thing, there's no single perfect alpha. The right setting really depends on what your users are actually typing into that search bar. If they're searching for specific product IDs or acronyms, you'll probably want to lean towards a lower alpha like 0.3 to give keyword search more power. If they're asking long conversational questions, a higher alpha like 0.7 is probably your best bet. And for everything else, a balanced 0.5 is an awesome place to start.
But you can get really fancy with this. Here's a pro tip for you, adaptive alpha. Instead of just picking one number and sticking with it, you can build a system that analyzes the query itself. If it sees something that looks like an error code, it can automatically nudge the alpha down for that one search. If it sees a long natural language question, it can bump it up. Your system adjusts the balance on the fly. It's incredibly powerful.
Okay, so we've covered the how. Now for the really important part, the why. Why go through all this trouble? What are the real-world situations where hybrid search doesn't just improve things a little, but is an absolute game changer for your RAG app? This is where it all clicks into place. Hybrid search is a total superstar for any query that mixes specific jargon with broad context. Think API 2024 authentication flow. Keyword search nails the specific ID, and semantic search gets the whole authentication flow concept. It's the perfect team up. Same for acronyms like GDPR, product codes, or even specific names like John Smith inside a query about a quarterly report. These are precisely the kinds of queries that trip up a single method system. And here it is, the bottom line. We're not talking about some tiny marginal improvement. In many real-world use cases, adding hybrid search can boost your recall, that's your ability to find all the relevant documents, by 10 to 30%. Over just using semantic search alone. That is a massive, massive gain. So, feeling ready to try it? Here's your roadmap, a simple 6-step plan. First, make sure you have a good semantic search foundation. Then, layer on that BM25 keyword search. Pick a fusion strategy. Honestly, RRF is a fantastic place to start. Set your initial alpha to that balanced 0.5, and now for the most important step. Evaluate the results on your own data. See what's working, and then start tuning that alpha based on the kinds of queries you see. So you've done all this. Your recall's way up, and your app is finding more of the right documents than ever before. That's a huge win. But it brings up a new, more subtle question. You might be finding the top 10 most relevant docs, but are you putting the single best one right at the top of the list, at number 1? Nailing that top spot, that's all about precision. And mastering that final step of precision is exactly what we're going to dive into next time when we talk about a powerful technique called re-ranking. Thanks so much for watching.